in my opinion, day 3 was just, call it what it is. Day 3, I think, was a failure. What's up, Solarpreneurs? I just got back from Solarcon 2025. We're going to be giving a recap, sharing the good, the bad, the ugly of the event. So in case you missed out or you just want to hear some recap, hope you can tune in today's episode. My name's Taylor Armstrong. We're here to help you close more deals, generate more leads and referrals, and have a much better time in the solar industry. And having a good time, it was a blast at Solarcon. Thank you to everyone that came up and said hi. Thank you for everyone that came up and said you've listened to the podcast and it's impacted you in some way. That is truly what keeps this show going. Wouldn't be without generous comments like that. And if you have not left a comment or a review, I want to invite you to do that. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, pretty much wherever you can find podcasts. So would really appreciate it. If you have not left a review yet, please go leave one. We're trying to improve the podcast, so whatever you want to share, let us know. Okay, but hopefully you can make it to Solarcon. It was a great event. There were things that I think could have been better, so I'm going to share the good, the bad, the things that I think could have been improved, and give you a recap. I'm not going to go through much of the speakers because, you know, as I've said in the past, if I recapped every single speaker, this would turn into like a 5-hour podcast. And I don't got time for that. And I think there's more impactful things you can do with your time than listen to the whole speaker recap. So I'm just going to give you some highlights, but more importantly, I'm going to share with you just the overall thoughts I had on the event. And hopefully, if you didn't make it, then you will decide to come next year or not, based on this podcast. Okay. But so it started on Tuesday on the 15th. And a little bit interesting schedule, right? Most of these events, they usually go like Thursday through Saturday. This one went Tuesday through Thursday, which I actually liked because you still got to get the prime knocking hours for the weekend. But so I got there on Monday night, hung out a little bit, went and was staying at the Link Hotel. Decided to go grab a burger. Which that's the first thing. If you're trying to grab a burger there, I think it's like Guy Fieri's restaurant. Be prepared to drop like $40. Spent $40 on an average burger. Okay, so they give you a heads up before you go stay there next time. You can go across the street to In-N-Out, get a pretty much the same burger for a lot cheaper. Okay, but you know, burger was all right. So that was the first thing I did on Monday. And Tuesday was when the actions happened, when the event officially started. And the morning, they had a couple interesting things going on. I did want to go, they had a Hispana, it was called Conexión Solar Hispana. I thought that was cool. They had like an event within the event and supporting all the Hispanic and Latino people that came to Solarcon. And I was thinking of going to that, but ended up doing a podcast instead and didn't know if they would accept white boys like myself in there. I think they would have, but didn't make it to that. And then from there, I think most action happened in the afternoon. Okay, but just before we get into more of the specific things, I'll just share my thoughts in general from the events. Okay, so I broke it down to the positive and the needs improvement category. Okay, so I'll start with the positives. So we could start with the positives. Okay, so I think some of the positives from this year's Solarcon is the attendance was better than other years. It still wasn't as many as I was probably expecting, considering the tickets were free this year. You would think there would just be, you know, 1 million people there. But a good amount of people. And what was interesting, the vendor area was actually smaller this year. And I think that contributed to it feeling more full, right? Because less space for the vendors, less space for people to be hanging out. So it did feel like there were more people for sure. You felt a little more intimate in the vendor area because, it was smaller. There were fewer vendors than previous years. Another interesting thing, and I heard just talking with some of the event organizers that Vegas, it is a lot more expensive to just run a conference out of. And I think I would assume they had to charge a lot more to be a sponsor, to be a vendor for this year's event. So may have contributed to there being less vendors. Who knows? But it was a smaller expo room. Okay, another positive, the hotels were more affordable and easier access. Like the link where I was staying is literally just probably quarter-mile walk down up a hallway to the hotel. So super easy to get back and forth to the hotel. Super easy for those that were up partying all night, go take a little nap or whatever between speakers. And it's funny because, you know, pretty much every other event is in Salt Lake City, Utah. You would think that Vegas would be more expensive than Salt Lake City, but not the case. It's actually cheaper. And I mean, probably because Vegas, there's a million places to stay, tons of casinos. So I would imagine it's more competitive. But I did like that. Made it easier to access. Cheaper flights, cheaper hotels, easier for more people to come in general. And then another positive, the speaker lineup was fire, I thought. I mean, you had David Goggins, you had the Sharks. It was really cool how they had Sam Taggart, Danny Pesci did their events within the events. Danny Pesci had the Setter Closer Tour. Sam Taggart had I think it was a door-to-door boot camp he was doing. So really cool to just have all the access to top closers, top setters, top people in the industry, along with some really just killer speakers that were going on. And was really impressed that they could pivot that quickly, going from Tony Robbins dropping out, not being able to make it, and then being able to get the Sharks and David Goggins. Pretty killer. Awesome. Another positive, the food was top notch. I would say it was definitely worth it for those that did get VIP tickets. I think it was definitely worth it. They had some great food. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what their food bill was, but talking backstage to some of the organizers, they spent a lot of money on that food. And I learned last year from doing my own events, these things, they're not cheap at all, because almost every venue, they require you to buy a certain amount of food from them. And so Vegas, I mean, booking a venue that big, the Caesars Forum, they had to drop some serious money on food. And so they did not skimp out when it came to food. I mean, you went back there, they had just all sorts of meats, chicken, fish, ceviche, seafood, and then just snacks between every session. They had a bunch of candy back there. Really tempting for me. When I see candy, I want to eat it all. They had like the full-size candy bars, the ones that you're always like coveting when you're a kid going trick-or-treating, the ones that is like the jackpot to get. They had the full-size candy bars back there. I'm trying to eat healthy, so it was like torture for me walking past them, not being able to snack some candy. But they had drinks, snacks, chips, whatever, you name it. They had just all the food you can imagine back there. So next year, you might want to consider getting that, because this year I think it was $300 or something, $350 maybe, to get a VIP pass. And I think just on the food they had alone, you could have easily spent that in food. So that was great hanging out back there. And of course, the people that go back there, they're generally people making more money, right? People having more success in solar, because that's usually how these events work. The people that want to be around higher level guys, they're spending more money on the tickets, right? So something to consider. So last thing on the positive side is they had a huge emphasis this year on selling ethically. Okay, and that was a big focus of the event. They had, what's her name? Abigail Ross Hopper. I know she was there speaking from the Residential Solar Association, just on how we need to level up, how we need to have just better understanding, better education, better ethics in solar. Then another big one was Brett Bucci, the Freedom Forever CEO. He got up there and he just dropped the hammer on everybody, and just talked about how the reps just need to start selling ethically. We can't continue in solar the way we're doing it. And I agreed with the stuff he's saying. I mean, to Brett, I think there's a side of it where, hey, You can call out the salespeople, but I mean, you're the CEO. So part of me was like, hey, it starts at the top, man. Like, are you doing everything you can to cause more ethics in sales? Right. So he dropped the hammer, but, I look forward to doing a podcast with Mr. Bucci, Mr. Brett in the future. So connect me with him if you're with Freedom. Would love to do a podcast with Brett and jam more on that. But yeah, he's right. It comes down to everyone, right? From the top down, we all need to sell more ethically. The thing he was talking about, we shouldn't be like sending out, oh, I just made 20 grand off this customer, right? And I know in the past, I think I've sometimes shared how much I've made on deals and maybe bragged a little bit about commissions. So it made me realize, it's probably not a good thing, because how many customers are out there that are just in these like Facebook groups? You'd be surprised. You go to any like Facebook group, there's quite a few homeowners that they're not selling solar. They just go there to ask questions, see what's going on. So are you the one bragging about commissions? Maybe we should stop that, right? So things like that, we all need to up level and work together as a whole to improve that side of the industry. So I love that they had a focus on that. Okay, and so for a couple of things that I thought could have been improved, it was funny. I actually, I use ChatGPT a lot to help me prepare episodes, kind of bounce ideas off of, be like my little assistant, if you will, which you should definitely be using ChatGPT if you're not already. But I just asked it, obviously ChatGPT wasn't at the event, but I said, hey, based off the agenda, based off what you're seeing online, what do you think could have been more organized or done better in Solarcon? And check this out. Here's what ChatGPT said. Said number 1, overlapping high value sessions. There were multiple high profile sessions happening at the same time, especially during prime hours. For example, AI in solar, installer panel, and sales tactics sessions overlapped, forcing attendees to choose between equally important content. And I actually agree with that. There were times where it was overlapping, where multiple people I wanted to see. And here's another one. It said, and I actually heard this feedback from some people online that I saw. It said limited installer focused content. While there were panels for installers and a few breakouts about operations, the content heavily leaned towards sales and motivational training. And I actually like that. I mean, obviously I'm sales. I'm not really on the installer operations side, but I can see that. This was a sales-focused event, motivational event, and I saw feedback from a few people that were looking to get more, installer operations content. So, it might be something they want to consider more. I think the audience was probably heavily sales-focused, a lot of sales guys there. But it might be something that they want to consider in the future, having more installer operation content. Another one from ChatGPT, not enough time for vendor interaction. With sessions packed back to back, there wasn't much built-in time for attendees to explore the exhibitor hall unless they skipped sessions. And definitely saw that, especially when it came to the big stage, the main stage speakers. There were some pretty empty main stage speakers. Okay, and speaking of it being a sales motivational event, one of the main stage speakers that there was a really low turnout for was Abigail Ross Hopper. She was one of the keynote speakers, speaking on the RSA stuff, the Residential Solar Association, on up-leveling and everything. That was one of the lowest attended main speakers. Okay, and it's tough because, I'm looking at the agenda right now. It doesn't even have a topic for what she's speaking on. And especially when you go to sales events, naturally people are going to go to the topics where they feel like it's helping them make more money, where they feel a huge benefit coming from. And at the end of the day, it's good to talk about compliance, good to talk about all that other stuff, but that's not bringing the audience. That's not bringing the eyeballs. So something for Solarcon to consider, especially when you're getting that audience that's coming for sales, learning how to make more money. It's figuring out how can you get the butts in the seat. Maybe it's putting some of these speakers like next to other ones where there will be a good turnout. It's a tough question to answer. but it's something they need to talk about. Maybe it's, I don't know, doing some type of raffle, or having like a handout and putting, I don't know, I'm thinking like preschool. My kid's in like a preschool right now, and they give them like stickers and prizes and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, we're maybe that would work here too. Give people like stickers for attending speakers like that, and have some type of raffle. I don't know. So it's not an easy question to answer, but whatever Solarcon does next year, if they want people attending speakers like this, and they want more attendance for some of the speakers that aren't as well known or less flashy, or speaking on topics that aren't like how to make $1 million this year in solar, then yeah, it's something they got to figure out. Another thing, no open Q&A after some big speakers. So they did have some question and answer for David Goggins and for the Sharks, but it wasn't like a live QA. It was kind of like pre-selected. So that's another thing that could have been improved. But the biggest overall improvement, okay, and this is I think this is the last complaint I had, is day 3. In my opinion, day 3 was just, call it what it is. Day 3, I think, was a failure. And here's why. They started taking down all the vendors. We got there day 3. All the vendors were starting to like clean up. It's like 9 in the morning, and they're already starting to take down their stuff. People are already starting to get out of there. It was supposed to be a full day. I think it was technically supposed to end at 4. But what happened was, you go in the main exhibitors hall, people are tearing down stuff. People are getting out of there, and I even thought myself, I'm like, why am I here? And I had no choice but to stay because I flew in, so flight didn't leave till that night. But if I could go back, just seeing what happened, I would have left probably after day 2, just because there was not much going on. And I was glad I stayed, because at the end, there were some speakers. Sam still had his door-to-door boot camp going on. So there was some good stuff happening with that. And there were some other speakers. I know Mike O'Donnell spoke, but just extremely low attended because everyone thought it was over. So they definitely need to make a change. This was the biggest room for improvement, in my opinion, of this year's SolarCon, is they need to make a change. They shouldn't be taking out all the stuff on day 3. If you're going to make it a full day, great, but maybe put a headliner speaker that day. Maybe do, I don't know, a raffle at the end. Give people a reason to stay and not just bail out at the end. Because, yeah, I mean, it's a long event. 3 days, it's a lot of bandwidth it takes from people. But I give people reasons to stay and make sure the vendors are not taking down their stuff at the crack of dawn. So those were my thoughts from the event. Hey, again, just kind of wanted to make it a overall recap, overall review of it. So hopefully you took something. Hopefully it made you excited to attend next year. Overall, I think this event was a huge success. Okay, despite some of the areas for improvement that I mentioned, still think it was a great success, still a great event. Hopefully you can make it next year. And yeah, just appreciate everyone that did come up and say what's up to your boy. And we'll be doing events in the future. And remember, if you did use our link to book your ticket, or upgrade your ticket rather, or book the hotels, we do still have those bonuses that we want to get you. So shoot us the proof of purchase with either your upgrade or the hotel, and we'll get you some of those bonuses. So stay tuned. We got some exciting speakers, did do some incredible interviews at Solarcon, and excited to share those with you coming up soon. But other than that, keep grinding, keep selling. Hopefully you use Solarcon to up level your game and to get some motivation to have the best year ever in solar. So we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and apply below in the link if you're interested in joining our team. Talk to you soon. Peace.